Oh. Oh, hi, Berry, just in time. Oh, hi. Hope you're doing well. Hello, yes, hello. We are doing a baking stream today because I need to bake things for next week. So, I thought, no, I won't stream it. I'll just do a little chill off-stream vibe. And then, I don't know, I've hit go live, so here we are. And got a look, no worries, Lel, no worries. Squeak! Thank you for the squeak, Lel, thank you. Let me, because I know you asked in Discord, let me just quickly Google Barra Breathe. Also, if we go, okay. Yeah. Got you. Oh, right, I see what you're doing. Okay. Yeah, so this is what a Barra Breathe is, Lel. It's like a bready cake. Like a bready cake like that. That's what it is. Right. And it's Welsh. Yeah. There you go. So, before all of my sweets and self-care and stuff. Thanks. So, my plan for today is, because my stream setup has elevated a little bit since we last did a baking stream. Like, I've got my new chat box. We haven't even done a baking stream with this microphone before. So that's going to be good. Also, I think what I'm going to do is stream with my earbuds in. I'll see how it goes. But up to now, I've not been able to like hear the music and any notifications and stuff. So I think that's the plan. But yeah, we're just going to do brownies first. And then we're going to move on to the first half of a Barra Breathe, which includes making tea. Literal, actual tea for this baking recipe, and I don't make tea, so it should be fine. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, that's the plan. Also, I don't know if I've had my tea yet, because I had some garlic bread at like 6 o'clock, and that's all I've had, so I don't know what's happening. We're going to work it out. We'll figure it out. I've also forgotten how I used to have the webcam, so that's going to be a challenge, but we'll deal with it. Also, Berry, I didn't ask how are you. You're doing well. Am I ignoring you on Snapchat? I hope I'm not. No, we're good. Okay, that's fine. It's not rain, is it? No. I feel like I could hear rain. Yeah. Oh, my phone is charging. I could do that while I'm streaming. Okay. That's done. So. I've got too many wires all tangled together at the moment for the baking setup. It's not ideal. So, earbuds. Hang on a minute. Okay. Let's see if I can hear audio. No. It's probably an output thing, isn't it? Audio. Monitoring device, that's it, isn't it? There we go, I can hear it. Okay. Oh, can you hear the music? I think you can. That should work, right? Yeah, monitor and output, that's fine. Okay. So. My wires are all tangled together, but it's okay. Ooh. Baking. Why does that look like that? And we've lost the music. Audio. Audio. Okay. Webcam. Yes. Good. Chat box test. We have chat box. Oh, wrong thing. Oh shit. Do it a bit bigger. Yeah. A bit smaller. It's a bit much. There we go. Let's have that. Sorry, you can see so much mess behind there. That's wild. Okay. Let's go on an adventure. Knocks me over, is it? No. You might hear some tense rustling in just one moment. I'm sorry. You haven't seen this angle for a while, have you? Okay. Now, the question is, will the webcam balance on a box of Weetabix? I think the answer is no. We're going to try it anyway. Oh, this is a bad idea. That is an absolutely awful idea. Sit? No, not like that. Let's sit. There? Kind of. Sort of. Okay. That might work. You're currently sat on plain flour. That's what you're sat on. Just move the angle a little bit. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That could work. Yeah, what do you think of that? Yeah, okay, that works. You're not sitting on plain flour. I'm glad you do, because you're going to be doing it for hours. So, next thing is Twitch chat, so I can see you all. It's also on charge, so pray for me. You sit in the cursed little crack there? Yes, you will. Let me in. Let me in. Twitch. For the love of God, don't update. I think it has updated. I think it's updated without my permission. Ew, that's foul. Okay, chat. I think I can see you all now. Okay. And you can see me, probably. Yeah, you can. Okay. So, first thing is wash my hands. Get a pig. Pretty sure a customer at work had a Zelda ringtone. Ooh, that's so good. Love that. Oh, what a jam. Love this one. Right, how the hell do I cook brownies? Okay, I can do this. So, I will start with the flour and the sugar for some reason. So let's do that. Can't remember what song it was, but instantly recognised it as a Zelda song. That's so good. Just realised this bowl looks fine, but it has been sat in that drawer for literally months, so I should give it a wash first. Because I'm not about to give my family diseases. I hope this sounds okay when I'm all the way over here. Hello. You can kind of see my hand move. Because I can't read what you're saying. But right now, no idea. Okay. Also can't get prams into work, so you're going to be in and out of ads. No! If you're back from ad, no worries, of course, about not subscribing. Please don't, if you know what I mean. Don't feel like you have to subscribe, because you absolutely don't. Oh yeah, if the ads are unbearable, do tell me, because I've changed the ad frequency to the recommended one that everybody does. Because I used to have it turned all the way down. Yeah, no. Freedom ad, hi, hello. Right. Flour, yes. Flour's good. Oh, you know what's better? An apron. You really cannot see me this time, can you? Hello. In the tablet reflection thing, you can kind of see it. But yes, I need my apron. Have I tied the apron a bit tight? Yes. Okay, no. Okay. So, flour for the third time. How much do I need? 115 grams. This is the sort of content that you've missed in previous times. Because of my dodgy webcam. Isn't this content? Five. Okay. I should put the bowl here probably. And work over this side. Yeah. Is there anything else I can do to the webcam? Just to, give it a bit more. Yowza. How do I not have anything? I have so many things in this place. Ooh, I know. Hot. Oh shit. Sorry, I nearly just knackered everything. Right, chat, get ready to have a growth spurt. How can I possibly achieve this? Oh, you're gonna fall. Okay, you are now tall. And can look down on things. Yeah? Can you, settle? Yeah! Look at that, you've evolved. Right. Okay. So, I need sugar next, don't I? Something obscene, that, yeah. 375 grams of this sugar. Which I think is just all of this bag. Yeah. Oh. It's kind of aquatic ambience, isn't it? What is this? It is... Ah, okay. It's not quite aquatic ambience. The remix of it. Something in here that I don't like the look of. So I'm going to get rid of it. My hands are shaking. I think it's a piece of fluff. There it is. Got it. So, I need another 100 and a little bit grams of sugar. You see this? Oh, what's happened to you? Oh, her. Ooh. Ooh, that seems to be better. So we're in the middle of those two options. Yeah. I can see my rubbish though. Perfect. And I've lost chat. My fingerprint won't work because I've got flour on it. Okay. Sensational. So. 375, yep. Oh, I've stormed past that. Oh, God. I need a bigger spoon to spoon out sugar. Let me just be clear, I'm not putting the sugar back in the bag. That would be foul. Because I think I've seen people do that on baking streams. Oh, that's pretty spot on. Awesome. So, I should get my whisk. I know I don't really need a whisk for this bit, but... No, it's actually not going back in. Because when people do grim things on baking streams, I'm like, ugh, no. Will not be me. Oh. Okay. Okay. Whisked. There. So then I think, typically I do butter next, don't I? Would be a bit of a mission. Right. Saying Prime sub. Oh, sorry, this is an old message. It's saying it is available today. It is or it isn't. Because that's weird. Oh, actually, I think I might have had that before, yeah. That rings a vague bell. Right, I think I use a bowl for this one, don't I? I think I got a whole bowl involved. Yo, my dishwasher cannot handle this too much stuff. Oh, this is a jam. What is it? Mario Galaxy, that's what it is. Cat Jam, I know, right? Galaxy 2, specifically. Can't believe all of that goes in this recipe. That's disgusting. Plus a little bit more as well. How much is this? Spot on. Oh yeah, this music's my playlist as well. It's not even like one of the YouTube bits. This music's all me. butter wouldn't give them a knife back. It's still not. Wow. Oh, fishing horn. I think I've done these butter chunks too big as well. Oh well. We're here now. What? Come on. Get off. Oh, I've got back on. Although to be fair, it is hot in the UK, so it might actually be okay. Okay, let's microwave this butter. See if it's not product, but see if it's melted enough. Some of it has, some of it hasn't. Stuff that hasn't really hasn't. Part 1. I don't want to burn what has melted. Then I'll put in a bit more. Oh, I'm dripping melted butter on the floor. This is a disaster. Looks like. Yeah, this is really hot. Okay. This bowl can go straight in the sink. My god. Also, I've lost chat again. Would like it if it would focus properly. Not focus, get the light right. That makes it worse. No. Don't recognise me. There we go. This is so aesthetic. I mean, I feel like it's really not. So I'm going to assume that's bollocks. Bye bye, Shannon, alright. Oh, here we go. Now we're cooking. I assume it's bollocks. Just respectfully, man. See, the light is not the one, is it? Is it my own skin that makes it lighter? I don't know. Because, like, you can't see it in its glory when it goes brighter. You're right to assume that. What I thought. That's what I thought. It doesn't look as good as it does in real life. And I forget if I can change it in. That's not the setting. Isn't it white buttons? I thought it was. I don't know. Okay, well, I'll try that. No, I don't want to add a chroma key, thank you. Okay, well, we'll have it now. Didn't we just have this? Oh, they're all variations of the same theme. Right. So this looks quite well mixed now, I think. Delightful. So let's do some eggs. The only issue is that I'm going to need this later for our Barra Brief. So I think I should use not that. People do just use a mug, don't they? Got a spare mug. I crack 4 eggs into this one mug. That seems like it's going to go so wrong. But let's just do it. Okay, so here we have our 4 medium eggs. The recipe calls for large, but there were none left in Tesco. So in literally all of Tesco, there were no large eggs left. So 4 medium eggs, and we're gonna do the best. Right, the Tesco by me, at least, is so unreliable for eggs. It's so unreliable. Hi Max, hello, how are you doing, friend? You're loving the music. It's so good. It's just my playlist I've got running at the moment. But yes, it's a fitting one for when you come in. Right, so I need 4 large eggs. Okay, I've assessed which 4 are the biggest. Don't have an awesome Max. Thank you. Ooh, okay. This is a bit more tense for egg cracking. Shit. Why is that? There we go. 1 egg. Cracked. I'm cracked at this. 2 egg. You know, I used to be so good at cracking eggs when I was little. Like, I was on like an egg cracking power trip, so I just got them right all the time. And now I don't have that anymore. Absolute crap, right? 3. I know, right? So skilled. Yeah, looking good so far. And 4. Oh, you know what? That's gone so spiffingly, splendidly well. It's this song. It's from Donkey Kong, from Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. It might be like a reworking. Oh wow! Hey Bailey. Hi. With 28 raiders. Okay, you know what? This is a vlog now. Hello. Hi. I'm Snow. I'm doing a baking stream, and I think that's my biggest ever raid. So hi. Thanks Bailey. Set this back down, and then I'll rechat. Yeah, that was good. Who's here? Cheddar flavoured sketches. Hi, Bailey, of course. Hi, Trev. Hi. Hey, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. So yeah, today we're doing a baking stream. Usually we aren't baking, we're playing games. I'm currently playing Ocarina of Time. That's my main game, and we're playing a lot of later. So, yeah, that's what we're normally doing, but just today I needed to bake some stuff, so I thought I'll stream it, and that's what we're doing. So if anybody wants to stick around, you're more than welcome to. Right, I've reached the eggs stage. This is where we're at right now. I can't tip it anymore for obvious reasons. Oh yeah, thanks Lel. I forgot. I'm so bad at this. streaming. I'm so bad, I forgot to shout out. But yes, everyone go follow Bailey if you're here from my stream, of course. Yeah, I slipped and fell into the the go live button. That's what happened. Thanks for following Cheddar Flavored Sketches. I appreciate it. I need just know Trev sent me a picture of Cicada on Discord. Ooh, no thank you. No thank you. I'm going to say the most cursed thing. I drink a lot of orange juice out of mugs, and that looks like orange juice. That's so cursed. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. In Animal Crossing. Right. Eggs away. Or rather, out of the way. And they're going in here. But yes, I hope you're doing well, Bailey. I don't know if I really asked. I hope you're doing well. You were streaming. Sims 4. How was that? Hope that went well. Right. You'll still see this, don't you? Yeah. So this is where we're at. And I need to get the egg yolk properly mixed in. Which will take a minute. Well, Max was right, the song was so good. There we go, it's just got harder. Speaking of which, I feel like going back on. The bugs are going to be great, right? Which, back on Animal Crossing? Ooh, do it. Do it. I forget what bugs there are in summertime. Definitely on Dead by Daylight, no worries. Got this, friend. Yeah, but yes, go and self-care, baby. That's so okay, lovely. Bye. What song's next? Oh, the Zelda memories. That's so cute. Right. I get all its sides as well. Okay. So next step, gamers, is cocoa powder, right? Yes. And I only need 75 milligrams. Okay. Updates. Nothing's coming out. There we go. It's a little bit overboard, but that's okay. They can be very chocolatey browns. I'll go with that. What's this one? Is it the Knights Academy? From Skyward Sword, I think it is. Right. Break up some of these lumps a little bit. Can you see this? Not really, sorry. There you go, that's a bit better. That seems good. Okay. I don't know if I can never remember if I still use the whisk or if I get rid of the whisk at this stage in the game. That seems like a professional did it. Just kidding, it was only me. What I don't want to do is get the stuff way up the back of the bowl like I've just done there. But oh well, I think it's just happening now. Oh yeah, because it all gets a bit stuck in the whisk, doesn't it? Let's try swapping instruments. That might help. Get off. Get off. Okay. I'm gonna actually knock the webcam, I think, aren't I? Just doing this. Yeah. Let's try and not do that now. Oh, you know what I should do? I should get the oven going, shouldn't I? That would help, because we're nearly there now. Right. What does the oven need to be? Fan 160. Okay. Oh, I'm going to need more baking paper very soon. I think we're good for today, though. Love. Very nice sleepy music. But... Right. This one, baking paper. How much do I need? That much. Whoa. Good, that's going pretty well. Oh yeah, that one's really done it. And secure. Love that. Ta-da! Perfectly lined. Okay, just one more thing to go in then. Chocolate chips. Did that even focus? I have no idea. Pretend it did. Chocolate chips. In. Yes, perfect. Okay. Where's in frame for you, really? Right there, and then maybe tip you down just a little tiny bit. Yeah, that seems good. I know this is what you're really here for. Yes. Oh, don't shake it. Okay. Ah! Oh no! Went a bit wrong. Off we go. We changing song? I think we are. Oh, we'll need a moment for this. Mario Odyssey... Lake Kingdom? Lake? Could be Seaside. Actually, yeah, it might be Seaside. No, I don't know. Right. Stay there. Water soft. Lift going down. Kinda true though, honestly. In a good way. Kinda true. Really, I should have used a bit more baking tray paper liner thing. What's it called? Yeah, baking paper. but oh well. It's done. Which you might watch uses this as the music when they change the standing desk. Ah, okay. I got it. It is good for that sort of thing, though. I want to find out what it is now. It is. Right, it says bubbly. I think that must be your seaside thing. Yeah, it must be seaside. Right, that looks pretty good, pretty flat. Okay. Right, into the oven it goes. Very nice. And it needs 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, so besties, that is only bake one of the day done. We're also gonna make our Breath, which for anyone that does not know is a Welsh sort of like a sort of bready fruit cake thing. That's so bad. I'm sorry to any Welsh people in here, but yeah. So to give you an idea, it gets baked in this, in a more of a long, thin loaf-shaped thing. But here is the key bit. We're only doing half of it today. There you go. That's better. Because what we're going to do is today we need to get fruit and mix it in with some tea. And then we're going to leave it in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow off stream, I'll combine it with the other stuff and get it all going. That's what we're going to do. So, oh yeah, I need to wash this. That's what we actually need to do. So, how should I do that? Do you want to go and be right back while I just wash something up quickly? Yeah, I'll put you on be right back and genuinely be like a minute, maybe even two, but that's what we're going to do. Okay? It's going to cut off the music, just give me 1 sec, I'll bring you back. Hello again. Okay, so the bowl is washed. So first of all, I've got 2 recipes for this. I came up with the inspiration note. I decided to do this because it is featured in Mary Berry's Baking Bible, which is where I get my brownie recipe from. And she has got a Barra Breeze recipe in here. I always lose the page. There it is. Okay. Oh, boy, base, you spoil me. Okay. So, what she says is measure the fruit and sugar into a bowl, pour hot tea over, cover, and leave overnight. So that's what we're doing today. Only that bit. So I've got here mixed fruit. I have got Yorkshire tea, not sponsored. And that's it. Oh, sugar as well. I've got sugar somewhere. Oh yeah, sugar in a pleasing box. I really like the shape of the box. That's so sad of me, but I like the shape of the box. So, bonus spoiler. I don't really drink tea. So when the recipe says pour hot tea over it, I've literally had to ask my auntie how I even get to that stage. So, let me see what she said. Yeah, just put the tea bags in a jug, add boiling water, give it a stir a few times. Yeah, okay. So, that's what I'm going to do. Interestingly though, I've read Mary Berry's recipe. I've also watched a YouTube video containing actual Welsh people, because this is a Welsh thing, a Welsh recipe, I mean, and they do it completely differently to how Mary Berry does it. So I think I'm going to go with the Welsh people over Mary Berry, and like use their quantities and timings and stuff. So what they recommend I do is boil the kettle, put the tea bags in, and then leave it for 20 minutes. Then put it in the fruit. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've also invested, by the way, literally for this today, in a wooden spoon, which already feels a bit horrible, to be honest. I don't think I like this so much. It feels a bit Barra Breeze with a side of splinters. I don't know about this. Honestly, I might not use that. I just use a big spoon. You know what I'm going to do for you right now? Let me show off my ice cream scoop. Because I own the best ice cream scoop in the world. Okay? This is just a tangent now, but this is the ice cream scoop. And you might be like, Snow, why is that such a cool ice cream scoop? Like, it's just metal, it doesn't even look very comfortable. But you can squeeze it, and it's got in it a little windscreen wiper looking thing. So when you scoop out the ice cream, there's none of this like get out crap. You can just go and it comes straight out. It's so good, and it belonged to my granddad, and so now it's with me. And it's probably older than me, but it is so good. It's the best thing. And I just want to share every opportunity. Right, I think I might just use a regular spoon instead of the wooden one, because it looks really rubbish. Yeah. Okay. That should be fine. Right, boil the kettle. The sink is so full, I can't really get any water in. Yeah, that's good. So, this time, we're using this. Oh, probably really near the pepper. But there's nothing I can do about it. What, the tea bags come in pairs, that's all. Right, and I was told... Yeah, I was told 3 tea bags where it's at. For this recipe, use 3 tea bags. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. About right. Aww. It's the music, everyone. Okay, I'm not going to do this for all 20 minutes. Okay, and it's now basically 22:11, so that's a good indicator of where we're at timing-wise. So, where can I leave this that you'll see it? I can put it there, can't I? Yeah. Okay, next thing is my mixed fruit. Mary Berry says to use either mixed fruit or currants and sultanas. Now this has currants and sultanas, but also candied citrus peel. And I don't know about that. So what I might do is, for lack of a better word, fish them out. I might pour some in and then get a fork and have a go at them. Because that sounds a bit grim to me. But, yeah. That's the plan. This really smells. We're going for 250 grams. But Mary says to use more than that. But I'm going rogue with my Welsh beef. Bags of mine. Time to go fishing. Wait, no, I've had a better idea. I know exactly what to use. I can use this. My little finger tweezers. Oh, this is a brilliant idea. Finger tweezers? I mean finger chopsticks, don't I? Finger tweezers? What? You see me doing this? Kind of. Oh, this is a nice one. It's Pirate Sword again. Cute. Good. Casual Celeste 64. Get off, thank you. Hi Bailey, no worries at all. What did you have? If you want to share, what did you have? What am I doing? So baby, the brownie is now in the oven. So we're doing our second little project, which is a bar of brie, which is like a sort of Welsh. Well, it's a Welsh recipe. It's like a bready fruitcake type thing. Put the walls onto boards to make mac and cheese. Ooh, love that though. Love that. So yeah, sorry. We're doing a fruitcake thing, and I bought mixed fruit, which has got like raisins and sultanas, and then also, what did it say? Was it caramelized? Not caramelized. Candied citrus peels, and I wasn't sure about the citrus peels. So just while we wait for our tea, which is here, whilst we wait for our tea to brew. There you go, brew. We're gonna just remove the candied bits of peel. I don't know. Fruitcake sounds nasty to me, I can't lie. Well, can't lie, baby. I'm making this for my parents' wedding anniversary, which is on Tuesday. I'm seeing them on Monday though. So this is for them, and I won't be eating any of it. So don't you worry there. I don't think it's for me either, but that's okay. Time are we on? Okay. About another 10 minutes on the tea. And I need to sort the sugar as well in that time, so we got things to do. Nearly there. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Oh, the memories of this music. Okay, that seems good. Got nearly 10 grams of this stuff. Wow. Okay, I think we're there. So. Okay, this is perfect. We've got 14 minutes left on the fruit. No, on the brownie. So we can do this bit first. And then we'll be all good to go. Mix. I want a brownie now. Would give, if I could, bestie, would give. Right, that's no use to me because I'm not following her recipe. How much sugar do I put in? Okay, 170 grams is what's going in. Top up with a bit more fruit because I've taken out 10 grams. Oh shit. Well, I dropped that on the floor, so nothing else. Good job, bestie. Thanks, bestie. There we go, that'll do. Okay. So 170 grams. Okay, so going in. Nope, I cannot open that cleanly. Okay. Out the box. Oh, that is like a brick. Oh, wow. Wowie zowie. Okay. Oh, there you go, 170. I hadn't the clip, didn't I, there? Good. Okay. Smashed that. So, let's give you another little stir. Well, I don't know if I need to stir this because it'll dissolve in the liquid. Is the hope. Break up the big bits of sugar. Oh, you probably can't see this. That's a little better. Okay, seems good. So, I'll give the tea another couple of minutes. And then we can pour it in. I could have done that. Here. Oh, observatory. Right, it's so vibey. Did you mean the old one as well before it changed to this? But yeah, it's so good. All of it, thanks. I curated the playlist myself. I really like it. Right, was there anything else I need to do? I don't think so. There. Just that, and then it will be good to go. Oh, it's Gateway Galaxy, not the observatory. Oh, wow. Right, I reckon that is about ready to go. So, let's tip in. Not tea bags, I do know that. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's leave it there. Oh wow, that sugar's dissolved already, it's gone. For the most part, anyway. Where's a good angle? Here. So now, my instructions from my auntie are to just let this cool and keep stirring it every so often. Then put it in the fridge and leave it overnight. That is what I shall do. What is that part? This part, it's for the actual bready bit. So you're going to put in self-raising flour. Well, tomorrow I'm going to put in self-raising flour, and it should just turn into this loaf. Apparently that is all I need to do. It sounds very simple. But that will give it a tea-based flavour. The bread's weird. It is weird. This recipe is not... Yesterday, when I thought, ooh, I could make Barra breathe. This isn't what I thought I'd be doing. I didn't think I'd be making tea and then it becoming bread. I don't know. But that basically concludes baking for today. Let me just check the time. Right, we've got nearly 6 minutes left on the brownie. So I'm gonna, sorry, up here. I'm so bad at angles. Like, I should be up here, because this is what all the vloggers do. Like, hi guys. But, no, you get this, I'm sorry. Yes, so we've got about 5 minutes left on the brownie. So I'm gonna move us back over to PC mode. And, yeah. Let's do that. Are all my wires going to tangle? Oh, no. Good. Oh, I'll move the things. Hang on. And you as well. The other thing I'm excited to do is take off my earphones because, ow, Give me 1 sec. I will go and get the case. Oh, it paused the music. Sorry. Play. Right. Let me unbluetooth them. Yeah. And... yeah, I can hear as well. Okay. So, I just thought in the meantime... put us back on just chatting. In the meantime... ooh, I've lost my roundness. How long have I got? 3 minutes. That can stay off. Because it'll make the other scene weird as well. Hi, Sabine. Hello. How are you doing, friend? I hope you're doing well. We have just finished our baking adventures. What's such a funny sentence out of context? I've lost my roundness. I've lost my roundness. Love that. Mr. Baking, it was just brownies again, and then we've made a start anyway on our Barra Breath. So let me show you what we've got. Because it's not what you expect. I've got some fruit. Sorry, I can't really show this without tipping it out. I've got some fruit mixed in some tea. I've got tea fruit. And we're gonna... yeah, fruit soup, basically. But our fruit soup is going to become fruit bread. Tea fruit bread. It's weird, it's... yeah. Crikey, some fireworks. Wow. Those are loud. Bread, yeah. So... yeah, but that, fruit soup, the fruit soup is going to go in the fridge until tomorrow when I'm going to do the rest of it. Because it needs to be really fruity tea. I don't know, it needs time. So we're going to finish that, well, sorry, I'm going to finish that tomorrow. I won't stream that bit because there's not very much left to do. Wowie zowie. And our brownie is just in the oven right now. It's going to come out in 59 seconds. Isn't that exciting? Usually it goes in again for a little bit. You have respect for making bread. I could never. It's my first time. My first ever time making the bread. Okay, there we go. Sorry, there's fireworks outside. There's nothing I can do about this. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Hope it goes well. Thanks. It looks really simple. It looks... because it's not like bread. It's not proper bread. So all I really need to do tomorrow is add some flour. Sorry, I know why I look small. It's because the webcam's too high. There you go. Yeah. So there's not much to do tomorrow, and it's not like a typical bread. Oh, there we go. Right, let me go and have a look at this brownie. You're going to get full screen me for a moment. Usually I have to put it back in the oven for another, I don't know, few minutes. But we'll see. See how it looks. Is that in the way? No. Okay. Anyone who cooks or bakes anything will feel the pain of what I'm about to say. That looks perfect, so I'm going to put it back in the oven just to be on the safe side and probably ruin it. But it's okay. I'll put on another 5 minutes. And then we'll be all good. There we go. Yeah, cool. Sorry, I know, right? I know, right? If I was going to eat that, I'd want to take it out now, so I'll put it back in, and then we'll be good. One time I made brownies that never fully cooked. You don't know what you did wrong, but they were in the oven for over an hour. Oh wow, that is bizarre. That is very bizarre. Right. So what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to... Why can't I think of what I need to do? Okay. Just when Steam loads up, just to pass the next few minutes, we're gonna do my daily on Lonely Mountains downhill, just for something to look at. You made cookies yesterday. Oh, Steam's open. Go away, Steam. I made cookies yesterday that need to be very light, but I'm scared leaving them in. Even the brown, so always wait for a little light brown edge. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Oh, it's also not showing you, is it? Game. Oh yeah, I was playing night mode yesterday. Why is it not going? There it is. Why can't we hear the music now either? Oh, there it is, okay. Right. What am I doing? Devil's Cut, no penalty. Okay, we can have a stormer. Oh, this bike's fast. Oh no. Okay. Can I get down there? Yes, I can. Yes, I absolutely can. That bike is zooming. I know, right? It's so zooming. Yeah, but how was your day, Sabine? I hope you enjoyed your day off. Oh, and I hope you enjoy tomorrow as well. I know you said you got the whole weekend off, right? Okay. Oh dear. Ouch. A bit on here? Not really. I love this music. It's such a good track. Yes, it was good. Had a driving lesson, went to the gym, spent the evening at a friend's house. That is very busy, but yes, I'm glad it was good. That sounds great. Ow. Nice one. It's a bookmark it. Ooh, love that. I hope you find some good books. That's so exciting. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know where I'm going. Whoa. Okie dokie, this seems bad. This seems really bad. It's bad. How was Spider-Man? It was good. It was good. context for everyone else, I went to see the original Spider-Man movie, the 2002 Tobey Maguire one, in the cinema, which I've never seen in the cinema before. But yes, I really enjoyed it. Oh shit! Yeah, no, it was very good and nice to see in cinema because, of course, I love the film, but I've not seen it in the cinema before because when it came out, I was probably less than 1 year old. Yeah. Oh. It does make me realise how good No Way Home is, though. Because, like, it was good, but I remember the Green Goblin being a bit better. But, you know, that's fine. I probably shouldn't survive this. Oh, brownie time. Brownie time. Quick pause. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. I'm happy with that. Right. Where's my puzzle? There. Me full screen myself. Sick. Nice. Love that. Show you a brownie. Whee! Whee! Oh, so good. I'm so excited. And didn't do a big split down the middle. Okay. Try fruit soup. Just a little bit more. Brownie's done, and can I see some about to go to bed? There you go, yes, perfect timing. They look so good, thanks. Thank you. Thank you for the Wonder Wow as well. Oh, this music. Yes. Wonder arrived, me arriving at your house. Oh, sorry, I'm still in food and drink now, aren't I? I should be not in that category anymore. Night heavens, thanks. Also, welcome in, huh? Early mouse down. Okay, done. This music is jamming. More like me showing up for brownies. I would have all of you here for brownies. All of you. Right, give me my roundness. There we go. That's better. That's better, isn't it? Yeah. But yes, all of you come round for brownies, yes. And Lel's redeemed all the things, because of course she has. Of course she has. Give me my roundness, you got your roundness. Brownie baking date when? We'll do that. I mean, Berry, you're in the same city as me, this could happen. Right. So what we're going to do for the rest of the stream, we are just going to do this and then wind us down because whoa, that's dark, isn't it? Because I still haven't really had any tea, any dinner. Of course, we've got plenty of tea just behind me in a bowl. Oh, shit. Lovely stream, thanks. How have I been? I've been good. Hope you're doing well as well. And Nighty Night Lel, of course. Sabine, it's okay. I did have some garlic bread. Your Honour, I had garlic bread. But I'm aware that that's not really a meal. Where am I going? There, that's where I'm going. Glad to hear. Good. Okie dokie. You know what? I should be boosting. Maybe not that much. Jesus Christ. Your Honor, that's not dinner indeed. Oh. Oh. Oh, I can't go this way either. Nice one. Oh, I kind of can. Ooh. Oh, I found a shortcut. Nice. Sick. Oh. No. It is yummy though, yes. I do love some garlic bread. Please, oh. Buzz to carry it off. I try, it's hard. No, I do. Saying that, what I am going to have is, for my tea, some out-of-date noodles. That's genuinely what I'm going to have. Have I ever played horror games? Not really, no. They're not really my thing. I'm a shy little gamer. But they seem cool. Oh, thingy. Yay. The date's just a suggestion. What, the brownie date? It wasn't enough. Yeah, I like adventure games more than horror games. Oh, nice one. Headphones, where did I buy? They're Razer headphones. I think I just got them from Amazon. But they're from all over. Razer's a big brand. Thanks. Oh, the expiration date. Oh. No, that's fine. I think there's an I in there. I think it's expiration. Sort of. You see what I mean? It's a weird one. But no, I see what I mean. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do one more, I think. Oh, Barry's got it. You know, I used to be in spelling club when I was in school. That's how bad my spelling was. That was not good. Ow. I was a bit of a spelling nerd. I was the opposite. I was spelling intervention growing up is what I was. Right, where can I go? Can I go down here? No. I need to sell my soul to the owl. Ah, Duolingo, yes. I was like, the owl. The owl. Oh, nearly. Oh, yeah, no, I was the other way around. We did, in my school, this is when I was like 10. I mean, we did spelling and like basic times tables in the UK, they're called at least. But like basic maths and basic spelling together. And I was in the bottom set because my spelling was awful, but my maths was really good. So I was like this god at maths amongst largely people that struggled with both of them. Like, ooh, where am I going? Down there. But like, it was weird because it was sorted by spelling. So if you were good at maths, it was a bit of a weird situation. That like, oh dear. It felt like I was further ahead than everybody at one thing, but equally struggling with the other. It was odd. It was an odd situation. Can I go down here and not die? Because I did it last time. Also, I take extra classes to learn how to tell the time on a clock. Interesting. That's very good at English. Right, Sabine, listen here. Your English is amazing. Because if we were having this conversation in Dutch, I would be helpless. Your English is so good. Like, genuinely. Oh, shit. Okay, fair, yeah. Right, let's not die here either. Oh, don't die there. Okay. That was sick. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Nice. Ah. I love how well this game fits with chill music of your own choosing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Machine qualities though, thanks. Like, this game just fits with chill music. Do I play Fortnite? Not really. I've got a couple of friends that I play Fortnite with, but I don't play it, you know, I don't play it on my own, and I'm not good at all. Chill music while crashing down a cliff, yeah. And Fortnite, yes, Sabine, we need to play again soon. I was talking to Mimi in their stream last night. She said she's like up for some Fortnite soon, but doesn't quite know when. But yes, we are definitely playing Fortnite again soon. Oh, Sabine, did you see the Deadpool and Wolverine skins that have been added to the game? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, oh, Sabine, they're so good. There's like really stylized. Oh my god. Fortnite takes like 2 business days to load up on my PC, or I would show you right now. Oh shit. Give me a moment. Absolutely no worries. I forget, you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine now, haven't you? If you're going, go, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Final Fantasy post-expansion frameworks. Passing, you should try Fortnite. You should try Minecraft, Berry, with me. That's what you should try. But yes, also Fortnite. You know what, I actually haven't played Minecraft in quite a few days. I need to not lose Minecraft. Oh, this is so dodgy. Yeah, that's bad. You need to get it on your PC. Do you not have it on your PC? Oh. I can't remember. You know you have it on Switch. Oh, okay, fair. Is this latent? This music, do you mean? It's not. No, it's from the mod for Celeste. I think I've streamed it. Oh dear. But yeah, no, it's fan-made music to fit with Celeste. It's so pretty. I love this song. Oh, it's my YouTube outro. But like, I've done a couple of Celeste videos on my YouTube, and this is the outro music for it. Because it's so nice. I love it. Oh, nice. I swear you've seen the driver install thing on your PC, but you never done it fully. Ah, okay. Yes, you did watch it. Okay, good, good. Good, good. Did you like? What did you think? was fun. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. Sorry, I know I missed a Minecraft question. Mining, farming, and build. It depends. Because I like building, but I can't build. I need a Minecraft... No, I need a YouTube tutorial. Otherwise, it's not happening. So I do like building. And farming, probably. Building and farming. But mining can be fun as well. I like the whole game, apparently. I like everything. Well, that was fast. That was not fast. I need logging to fun right now. If I didn't have food, I would offer to play with you right now. Sorry, if I didn't need food, I would offer to play with you right now. How many arms do I have in Minecraft? I forget now. I've got like diamond and a couple of netherite on my world that I'm playing. You're just gonna look at skins, okay. But yeah, no, the Wolverine one, like, the Wolverine one nearly tempted me. Oh, is that? Oh, no. I'm not restarting the whole run. I'm not doing that. Ow. Deadpool one's tempted me. They look so good, right? Wait, there you go. You buy Deadpool, I'll buy Wolverine. And we'll fuck shit up. No, don't do that. Don't do that, because I actually won't buy it. You don't want to work tomorrow? No. Is it the full day, Barry, or are you only in for 4 hours? Oh, I bet you're in for the deputy manager, aren't you? Yeah, full day. Maybe the shop will have burnt down. Maybe it'll be okay. For legal reasons, if the shop has burned down, that was a joke, and I don't know anything about it. Oh dear, oh dear. Just to be sure, like, on a kind of real level, Sabine, there's been some, like, riots is a strong word, but there's been some, like, bad things in the city centre today. Some unhappy people. Yeah. So that's where the joke comes from, that things have happened today. But I assume everyone's gone home now. Am I safe? Yeah, I don't live in the centre of the city. I'm fine. But yeah, no, there was some newsworthy events that happened today. Oh, is it? It's still going, Barry. Oh no, I assumed they'd just. I don't know why I'd assumed they would just go home. But oh dear, stay safe for you as well. And if it's still like kicking off tomorrow, just genuinely don't go to work. If it's not like, you know, if it's dodgy, do not go to work. Also, sorry, someone said, do I play RPGs? I've not played many. The closest I've played is like Paper Mario, really, to proper RPGs. I suppose I play the Professor Layton games as well, but they're not like combat games, so. People are lighting stuff on fire and throwing it like 10-minute drive. Oh dear. Dear. That's not good. I don't understand people. Yeah, it's just not good in the UK at the moment for certain tensions. Things are heightened at the moment. Glad I got home when I did. Yeah, that's really like convenient. That's a weird phrase. That is really good that you like were able to get home before things got. Yikes! Yeah. I'll spare him in the Netherlands if I need. I'm just gonna come over anyway. Sorry, I'm just actually yapping and keep on dying on this bloody hill. Like that. So stressed. There were police everywhere. What's going on? No one knew what's going on. Genuine question, right? When the shop's going into lockdown, does that just mean they shut the doors, or do they kick all of the customers out onto the chaos of the streets and then shut the doors? I'm actually curious about that. Are the customers still inside the shop? Walked all the way to the bus stop just to see the road closed. Dear. Yeah, no, that's no worries at all. I'm just curious what they would do in that situation. Would they just turf everybody out? Because that seems a bit questionable in some ways. Okay, we're at the end of this. Just kidding, we died again. Oh, shutters down. They must have been out then. The customers must have all been out. Stop dying there. Gonna guess maybe because it was like 5 p.m. Yeah. I mean, at that point, you'd just close for the day, wouldn't you? If there was... How should I phrase this? Civil unrest... At 5 p.m, you're going to pack it in. Most places close at like, yeah. Yeah, no, that would be weird. Oh, when I was walking up, there was a lot of, like, the restaurants up. One of the streets. And they were, like, quickly putting all of their like outdoor seating away. Maybe that was why as well. Actually, I didn't think of that. Yeah. And anyone know about GTA? I've played about half of GTA 5. That's about all I've done now. That got me like no extra points. Okay, sick. Cool. Right. Okay. So, oh yeah, they would all shut for sure. I saw a clip of people were going for a phone repair shop on the like, yeah, on the street. It was not good. Just don't be knobs, people. Don't be knobs. Yeah. The Bears Keeps thanks. I actually drew that myself. It's like one of the very few things I've drawn. But thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so I know it's a slightly shorter stream, only 2 and a bit hours. Yeah. Slightly shorter stream, but I am going to end because I do need to go and get some food. I've got noodles. I don't want them. I don't want noodles. I don't know what I'm going to have. It doesn't get worse for people. Yeah. No, I hope it doesn't. It's... I don't know. But yeah, stay safe tomorrow, Berry. I mean, if things are not looking good, genuinely, I would say call off work. Like, if it was bad, but you know. Hopefully it's more chill tomorrow. Although, because there's always there's the regular, what should we say, parade on Sundays as well. Yeah, no, I hope it doesn't move close to you. That is not good. Yeah. Because I know people don't care about whether it's 5 p.m. or 3 a.m. Yeah. That is true. If they're going to do stuff, they'll do it regardless, and they might well do it at night when there's, you know, cover of darkness for their shitty behaviour. BRB, no worries, we are winding down, so I might have finished by the time you get back, but no worries at all. I got something a little bit... Oh no, it's Rito Village, okay. Yeah. Oh, you know who I've been chatting to today, Barry? This is a really weird... thing. So, you know our company that we both work for? I've been in a completely social group chat. You know, not particularly company related at all, but I've been in a group chat with the member of staff that recruits for managerial positions in our company. I've just been chatting away. It's been so weird, but like, I'm here for it. Oh shit, I left the oven on. Oh no. Hang on. That's been heating up my room. What the... I know, right? The weird situations I find myself in, hey. And there was somebody else as well in Halland's Acquisition. Would I know the name on here anywhere? I don't think so. No, okay. In plans for emotes based on my profile picture bear? No, I don't think so. The emotes are close enough to being a bear. I wouldn't get my profile picture one, I don't think. But yeah. Oh, ads, no worries, no worries. Okay. So, I've had a look at who's live. Currently, there's nobody live that I feel brave enough to raid into. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, that's a good tune. Hoping your Prime fix itself tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah. So, I will wind us down. That was a short ad. Good. I'm glad you're back. Glad you're back. Why on the front page of my Twitch? Why is there somebody literally playing 18 holes of golf? Like vlog, like an IRL on their phone vlog of them playing golf. That's so weird. Love that for them though. Love that. Just to everyone you watch, you forget what ads are like. I'm sub to almost everybody that I... What the fuck? Sorry, hang on. Why is Donald Trump live on Twitch? What the fuck is that? Why's Donald Trump got a Twitch account? Is they banned? They unbanned? I didn't even know he had an account. Ugh. Grim. Grim. And he's on recommended channels. Get that out of here. Ew. Ew. Also, hi, Trev. Hi. He's been banned for a few years. I mean, he got banned on a lot of things in 2020 when... Or was it very early 2021? I don't know. I know he got banned for the previous presidential race. How's the baking? It's gone well, Trev. Let me show you. Let me show you. We got a brownie. A whole brownie tray. I love how it's turned out. And then I've also got, as Sabine called it, fruit soup, which is sultanas and currants mixed in tea, which is going to be used for a baking thing I do tomorrow. So that's the plan there. Brand looks good, thanks. I'm real excited to eat it. Real excited. I've got so many wires under my chair, this is not good. Yeah. So that's the plan. Basically, I don't want to end stream, I just want to sit here and yap for a bit, but really I should eat something. But I don't want anything. You know those moods. I don't want to eat something, but I should. I should eat stinky, yeah, I will. Because I've got noodles, that was what I was gonna have, but I'm not feeling the noodles. I'm not feeling them. I don't think I've really got anything else in. Oh dear. Oh dear, I'll find something. I'll find something. Right, yeah, gamers. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be Spirit Temple on Ocarina of Time. I think I should be going live again tomorrow for Spirit Temple. Usual time. That's the plan. Yeah, I think so. Stream tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Hopefully I can see the sublet then, yeah. You know what I was thinking? You know a thought I've had? Because I've got my two alerts. I've got the Gordon Absolute Slay one, and then I've got the Don Paolo one. I could actually set those, one as Prime sub and one as paid sub. I could do that if we wanted to wait to see both of them, because it's currently a bit alert, and like I don't want anyone to really give bits because keep your money, y'all. But you know, because then you could actually see it. Also, Berry, I think if you sub when I'm not live, you still get the resub notification the next time I do go live and you're in the chat. See what I mean? I think you can still do it, because I've done that to Twinkly Talk before. I suppose I can do it right now, can I? I don't think my subs run out yet. Ah. Yeah, the sub-anniversary message, yeah. Okay. Interesting. So. Yeah. Yeah. Absolute yap energy, but I've run out of yaps. So. yes, so tomorrow, Ocarina of Time. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to do. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, because we entered the Spirit Temple, and tomorrow I'm not doing anything, as far as I know. So yeah, that'll be good. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So, stream tomorrow. I'll announce it probably tomorrow morning. Not tomorrow morning. I'm not awake then. But yes, tomorrow I will announce it properly and we'll do the Spirit Temple. Yeah. That can be the plan. Okay. Yeah, so we're not raiding anyone because I've only got Finster and Bob Ross, and I don't think I can raid Bob Ross, and I'm too scared to raid Finster. So let's just end the stream, and I will, see you all another time. See you all tomorrow, if you all are free. Yeah. Okay, thanks for being here. I appreciate it a lot, and I'll see you, tomorrow. Bye. Squeak.